Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pitch Side podcast channel. I'm your host, the HOD of the PSP. Like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, enable notifications to receive all the updates from these match recaps and the podcast episodes which you can listen to on Spotify, Google Podcast, or any other platform. Follow us on social media site PSP with a Pitch Side Pod on Instagram. You join us for more content here on the channel, and we're coming to you straight after the big game in the Europa League. I don't say that very often, really, on this channel, but it is a big game, a truly big tie between Manchester United and AC Milan at Old Trafford, and it was it wasn't a fair draw, let's be fair. It came down to the fact that, both managers made mistakes in managing the game, and it came down to whose mistakes are going to be more damaging in the long term, and looking forward to the second leg next week. Both sides started with a 4-2-3-1, although, to be fair, Milan's formation was more of a 4-3-3, with Mayte as a centre midfielder, Kessié and Krunic, being flanking him on the sides in that midfield, with Brahim Diaz playing as a false 9, Salamakers on the right and Leao on the left, while for Man United it was pretty straightforward. Fred was on the bench, McTominay and Matic, of course, no Pogba, no Van de Beek available for injuries, so they're pretty short of options when it comes to that midfield part. Bruno Fernandes as usual behind, Martial up front, with James and Greenwood serving as the wingers. And for the first 45 minutes, and pretty much for most of the game, to be fair, Milan were pretty good and they were the better side. They certainly were more tighter than I thought they would be in the first half. They didn't give a lot for Manchester United to capitalise on, not a lot of space to run into as expected that will be, but certainly Milan managed the game really well. Mayte and Frank Kessié in particular were really, really good in that centre of the park. They neutralised Bruno Fernandes for the most part in the first half. Like, truly the one ball of quality that Bruno Fernandes could deliver in the whole game was the assist for that goal. Amad Diallo, probably in the first and probably the only time really that a United player made a diagonal run into some space, taking advantage of the only moment I think of the game where Bruno Fernandes was free to drop in the middle, take the ball from a deeper position and provide that pass towards Amad Diallo. Brilliant finish, by the way, from the 19-year-old boy coming from Atalanta, comes on as a sub in the second half and scores the goal for Man United. And after that, it came down to the management of the game, and the management of the game was, if it was wrong from Solskjaer, it was even worse, I think, from Stefano Pioli. From Solskjaer, weird substitutions he made, like really weird. You're 1-0 up, and okay, it's understandably trying to defend the lead and trying to be, sort of conservative a bit, but it wasn't really understandable when you took out Fernandes and took out Martial, and basically you have Diallo, Greenwood and James up front. Those guys are not going to give you a lot when you don't have support for them. Who's going to be their number 10? Who's going to be the person providing passes for them? Certainly not Matic. McTominay tries to be that person, but he could not have the qualities of Fernandes. He doesn't have the vision of Fernandes, sometimes the decision making. He gives you the hard work, certainly, going forward, but he doesn't give you the same work rate in terms of pressing, and also in terms of giving the final pass forward. So that's, I think, neutralised United a lot. They couldn't have someone who could provide the passes for the people and the players running forward for Manchester United, so that neutralised a lot of Man United's danger. I don't know exactly what Solskjaer was thinking. Like, if this is not a big game where he should keep Fernandes till the end and conserve the lead and try to capitalise on the spaces that would have been existent had Bruno Fernandes been on to spot them and to give the players willing the run behind the defenders of AC Milan, as AC Milan pushed forward really, really high after the goal. They had a couple of opportunities on the right-hand side, who they targeted really well, I think, for the runs of Diego Dallo, Rafael Leao, of course, Frank Kessié supporting as well. But then comes the part where Stefano Pioli manages the game, I think, in the wrong way. He made the wrong substitutions, but I think he got lucky in the end in terms of the goal. Doesn't take off a bit of a merit, doesn't take off his merit really with the draw. I think it was a deserved draw, probably even less deserved draw, with the biggest point I think of debate after the game probably would be the goal from Kessié early on. Would it have been a handball? Was there a handball? I didn't see one, like all the angles in my opinion didn't show any handball. Like in every angle there was some player sort of closing in on the shot. The only angle that was a bit clear was the camera behind the net, but somehow I didn't see handball in that either. So, you know, took off Diaz and Salamakers, and took off Diaz and Salamakers for Tonali and Castillejo. And I thought, why he didn't take only Diaz off, and you put Leao centrally, you move in Castillejo and Salamakers, keep them on the right hand side, the left hand side, maybe switch them and keep Kessie in his position because he gives you the runs forward. Transforming him into a false 9 didn't add a lot, because it certainly detracted from the work that Milan were putting, because putting Kessie as a false 9 doesn't really help. It doesn't create the numerical superiority you need against a side like United that changed his shape altogether and playing more conservative and sitting more deep. But eventually Milan found the opportunity, found the target, and found the space through a set piece that, I mean, half goalkeeper's fault and half defensive fault, because Maguire, as usual, was marking a teammate. He was marking, in this case, he was marking Nemanja Matic. He was holding Nemanja Matic's back. No marking whatsoever of Simon Kjaer. Alex Telles, I don't know why he was jumping even. The ball was past him. Simon Kjaer has it, and, you know, Dean Henderson, for all the praise I've been getting in the last couple of matches, he should have done really better in that goal. A late equaliser for Milan, and again, it was less than deserved considering the disallowed goal, considering the whole flow of the game for AC Milan being the better side, having the most dangerous opportunities, and forcing a couple of saves out of Dean Henderson. The only save that was forced out of Donnarumma was early on in the first half by Martial, and aside from that and the goal, nothing really was created from Manchester United. Also a chance for Maguire, I mean a half chance for Maguire from a set piece. His ball, I mean, he was lucky, I mean, he was unlucky, Milan were lucky, the ball clattered off the inside of the post and went out. Aside from these moments, I think for in Manchester United, it didn't create a lot. They were pretty stagnant for most of the game. They had the first 10 minutes in the second half, they were really good. You know, up the tempo a little bit. Bruno Fernandes started moving, started dictating the pace, but then after the goal, they went deep, they caved in, and that was, I think, wrong. After that, the game management from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the game management from Pioli was also wrong as well, but they were pretty lucky with the goal. We will see whose game management is going to be damaging the most in the second leg, considering how the game is going to go. Now, this is probably going to be Milan's die. Are they going to be caving in? Are they going to be defensive? Are they going to go for it, actually? We don't know how the game is going to shape up. The first goal in 5 games that Man United conceded, and it's certainly saying something when it comes against this almost depleted Milan side with no Rebic, Mandzukic, no Ben Nasser as well, and no Ibrahimovic, certainly the biggest absence of all. That's it from me for this match recap. I was your boy, the HOD of the PSP. Like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, enable notifications to receive all the updates, and of course follow us on social media, PSP on Twitter, Setworld on Instagram, and you could listen to our podcast on Spotify, Google Podcast, or any other platform. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.